let's start. I will make now 3 videos in a row. I will have the first one that will cover the walk cycle, then the trot cycle, and then the run cycle. And of course I'm talking about 4-legged cycles. I already did these animations and I'm just now passing you the clean version of each animation. So the first 4-legged cycle would be the walk, and I have here this reference that kind of help us to start. So 2 keys here. I have chest down, pelvis up, then the chest goes up and the pelvis goes down. Another thing is the legs. So we can see that most part of the time it has 3 legs on the ground, so it makes this tripod, you see. So this is the stability of the walk cycle in a 4-leg walks. This is the up, and this would be my first pose. Actually, I will start from this one. So I will start this one making our shoulder blades up. Okay, shoulder up, the foot here is underneath the shoulder, and what I will do next is the head. So I will bring the head just as our reference here. I will bring the head forward. I will place it here so it's a bit lower than the shoulder, because this is my peak of the walk, so my shoulders will be at the highest point possible, and then the hips are going to be low. So I bring my hips low. This right leg is backwards, and as you can see here, I want my I have the left front leg up, so the left back leg would be placed where this leg was before. Do you understand? So the tripod is made by replacing the position of a previous paw for the next one. So this leg here was here before because he's making this movement going further forward. So I will bring my left back leg here. The tail, I will just make it somewhere here. Okay, and then I will play with the tail as I play with the head going up and down. And the way that I synchronize all these elements are related to the shoulders and the hips. Okay, so the shoulders are the key for me to animate the head. So the shoulder goes up, the head goes up. The shoulder goes down, the head goes down. But as an overlapping action, so there's a bit of delay, and the hip is going down and the tail is going down also here on the beginning of the tail, but the end tail will go up, and then the hips come up and the tail will come up, the top of the tail, but the end of the tail will go down. Okay, so the tail here is of course attached here to the hips, but I raise up my end tail. All right, so the next pose, I will actually copy this pose and swap the legs, and I will not be worried about slight differences between one leg and the other. I will just copy and swap the legs. So the silhouette is exactly the same. I will just swap the front legs and the back legs. So the right back leg will be there and the back left leg will be there, and the same thing for these front legs. There we go. Have here just the swap of the legs, and notice here that I'm bringing this shoulder a bit down, so the shoulder blade is going down and up according to the leg that is on the ground. See, so I'm twisting the leg and the shoulder blades because this is a flexible animal. And notice that animating carnivorous is different from animating an herbivorous, because carnivorous animals are more flexible. Okay, the movements are more flexible and also more exaggerated. So herbivores are more stiff. Though the tip here is to observe nature. That's the main part here. Observe nature and exaggerate it. I will change here my spine because it should be flexible. The shoulders, they are not flexible. They are just twisting, right? And the neck will be also flexible and will move. But the head is a stiff part. So it's important here to talk a bit about what parts are flexible and what parts are rigid, So if you think about the rigid parts, we will have the head, okay, this is rigid, and also the shoulder blades, this is also rigid, and the hips are also rigid, right? But then if you look at the neck here is flexible, right? The spine will be also flexible, and the tail, of course, is also flexible, right? So we are going to play with these rigid and flexible parts to create our animation. So let's now break apart these two main poses. I will now create here one pose here and one pose here. So what do we want here? We want this pose, because we did this pose for both paws, both legs, and now we are going to create this one. I will not exaggerate as much as here because I'm making a soft walk, like an easy walk, but I will recreate this. Push the pelvis up and bring the chest down. So what I have here, I will just bring one image now visible. This is my previous frame in blue, right? And as you can see here, I'm bringing the hips up and the shoulders down, and also this chest here is going down the same distance as this one, right? And while the shoulders are coming down, the head will also come down, but in an overlapping action. So I'm actually keeping the head there, right? But I don't keep it in the same pose. I made a little rotation like this. I'm rotating the head. So I can see a little bit of that here now, because he's twisting the head up and to our side. Why? Because this is the right leg is the one that is supporting the weight. So I'm bringing the head to this part here, to the camera. I'm bringing the head to the camera, right? What I'm doing with the pose is, okay, what is going to happen with this leg here? This front leg is coming backwards, and the right leg is going to touch the ground, right? It will be stretched here on the ground and touching the ground, because we need a tripod, and this leg here is going to be up, okay? Remember, a tripod, we will have 3 legs on the ground. Oh, and now these legs. So my left leg is on the ground and my right leg just left the ground. See, the right leg is up now, and my tripod now is composed by the left front leg, the right front leg, and the back left leg. And the tail, since we bring the hips up, we will bring also the tail up, but we release the end part of the tail, right? We released it as it goes up. Now we are going to do the same for this side here, this part here. So I'm actually copying this pose and copy the silhouette for here, and I will copy the head, so I will not have any differences in the head. And I also change the rotation of the head, right? See here that I'm turning the head to the camera, let's say, and now I'm turning to the other part. That you can see that by looking at the ears, and also with my nose. You see that my nose here is bigger, so it's turned more to the camera, and now I'm rotating the head that part to that way. Okay, so we have here already a good movement. Okay, so that's our loop actually, and now we just need to add some breakup parts. Oops. A little slower, because we will need more. Now we just need to make the breakup parts. Why are the breakup parts important in this case? Because it will give it much more flexibility, mainly given by the tail and the head. Because, you know, if we want to use the overlapping action to the head and we only have 4 frames, it's kind of difficult to feel it, because we need to drag the head a bit. If we need to drag the head a bit, we need 1 keyframe in between these 4 that we already have. So let's add a keyframe between each of these main keyframes that we have here. So 1 here, 1 here, another here, and another here. Okay, we'll just add another one here because it's the end. So we will want to we will want one keyframe here, another one here, another one here, another one here. But we already know that we are repeating this pose for this part, but for the other legs, and this pose here to there. So it's the same thing, but with swapped legs. So now let's make this in between here. And what is important here is to fill the head, the delay of the head, and also of the tail, at the same time that we are creating the middle poses for the legs. So one part at the time. First the legs, because I think it's easier. What I have here for my legs is this leg here, that is this one here, as you can see, and here. So it's in the middle of these two, right? Is in the middle of this one and this one. So we have this leg here, and now the front leg, you see that I had it here, the front leg was here up, and the next frame the leg is on the ground here, and my current pose is the leg being released, relaxed there, but almost touching the ground. See this pose here, it's almost touching the ground. Look at the paw, just looking at this paw here. See? Bam, bam, touching the ground. Now the back legs, same logic. So this leg here was here on the ground, and in the next frame will be here up. So I will stretch it back for the last moment before releasing the ground. And the left back leg, it's just in the middle of this pose, and there it is, right? Easy. Now I have also my tail, just in the middle of those two. And the head, well, since the shoulders are coming down, the head will come down too. But with that delay that we talked before, see? So the neck is coming down, but the head, I'm rotating the head a bit up, so I can give that delay, right? Just clean that. We don't need this here. All right. Now I'll make this one that we want from here to here. So once again, here I'm just trying to find the middle poses. What I'm doing is placing the left front leg between this and this again, and the right leg. And here what happened is that the previous frame, this foot here was on the ground. I'm releasing this foot, I'm lifting the foot, and is not anymore supporting any weight. And the back leg's the same thing. So the back leg, that is this one here, is in the middle of the other two, as you can see, here, and there it goes, and there we have it. And this leg here is coming from this position to that position, right? So it's between this and this. The tail, what we see in the tail here is that we are trying to give it a little whip. So from here to here, I raise a bit the end tail, okay? And the head is turning to, again, to a central position, to be turning to the other part, right? So what we have here is, look now only at the head. So the head goes up, and then as the shoulder goes down, the head comes down but is dragged, okay? It's being dragged down, right? And then the shoulder goes up, and the head will also go up in relation to the shoulder, of course. So now we just need to copy this pose here to here, okay? So the second frame would be the same but with swapped legs in the 6th frame, and the 4th frame will be mirrored in the 8th frame. Okay, time to see our final result. Okay, too slow. Let's make it with 8 frames. Okay, so this is our walk. I hope you enjoy it, and now try your own version of it. I know that there are a lot of things to think about here because the entire movement happens with so many details, but stay focused on different parts at a time. So first the legs and the front legs or the back legs. This has to do a lot about feeling, but is also about logic. If you have difficulties about feeling the movement, you just have to practice more and think about the logical things that we know. So what do we know about the up pose? We know that this shoulder should be higher as possible. We know that this foot here is underneath the shoulder, and then if this paw here, this leg here is straight and supporting the weight of the front part of the body, we know that the other front leg should be up, okay? It's not touching the ground, and we know that the other two, they must touch the ground. And where are they? So is simple if you think about the tripod. So this front leg here that is not on the ground was before on the ground, and the spot where this paw was is the same spot where the back leg should be. Okay, think about not 4 footprints but only 3. So this paw here just left the ground, and there's where we are going to put the back foot. If this back foot is here, is forward, so the other one has to be backwards. That's as simple as that. And then the head, shoulders up, head up, shoulders down, head down, but with overlapping action. So it's dragging, it's coming after, right? Sometimes it's not just about going down and up, but it's about rotation, because as you know, the head is a rigid element, but the neck is not. So it's flexible, it goes down, and then the head can rotate, see? So that's what we are trying to make, okay? And yeah, that's it. Good work. I hope you enjoy it.